And welcome everyone to the MSL Season 2 Code Platinum semifinals. This is the second set of semifinals. And once again, we're starting out here on Star Station. This matchup is a little bit different though. Different people, of course. In the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the green Protoss with the almost unpronounceable name, Quixoticism? Quixoticism. I'm going with Quixoticism. His opponent down here, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, with the much easier to pronounce name, the Orange Zerg player, Stormshout. See? That's easy. I can handle that. So, starting out, Storm Station. Wow. I am full of awesome Freudian slips today. This is, of course, Star Station. The little choke here, the really tiny choke here, and the gigantic everything else on the map. As this is Code Platinum, I'm expecting to see some additional awesome games. Looks like Quixoticism is going to be throwing down his pylon early. This is definitely some sort of a fast expand build. And it's going to be a gateway expand. Interesting. Or it was going to be an attempt at a gateway expand. And now this is going to be kind of interesting. His opponent is going to be going for an expansion, a kind of a late, it's a 15 hatch, but it's not going to be blocked at all. So a little bit of craziness going on there at the beginning, but nothing too much. We do see the scouting probe from Quixoticism. Quixoticism. It's going to be come down here, taking some hit points off of this hatchery. Nothing too major at this point in time. The gateway expand is actually something that's relatively new, and it has its pros and its cons compared to the Forge expand. It allows you to be aggressive a lot earlier on. It's an adjustment of basically the Forge expand build from the stuff that changed in Heart of the Swarm, meaning you can get in much earlier Mothership Core, and you can still be safe with the Nexus Cannon. So, looks like a little battle here, and the probe should win. No! The hero drone kills and delays the base by a really long time, actually. Requiring an additional pylon. Okay, it's going to get that Nexus down. His opponent, Stormshout, should be throwing down another hatchery sometime soon. The spawning pool is equally late-ish, but should be fine. Interesting going for this early gas. It looks like he's going to be wanting to get some, something like perhaps speed here pretty quickly, as he's not going to have anywhere near the amount that he needs when the spawning pool finishes, but not going to be too big of a deal. Drones just being super annoying here. But the Zealot does get the upper hand. This Nexus here is going to, of course, finish up. And now the question will be, what gets built next? I'm going to guess another gateway or another pylon or something like that here, and then a Mothership Core immediately thereafter. Come on, Stormshout, where's your extra base? 2 queens coming up at this point in time. Totally expected. The worker count lead is for Stormshout at this point in time, as he went for a pretty stable... Yeah, see, there's another pylon, making that once again. Look at the platinum level. We expect walls that are the proper size with the proper gaps. We do see no Mothership Core. Interesting. Not yet. See 100 gas gone for Stormshout, which means that he does in fact have speed on the way, and he stopped mining gas, as he should. He's just get some extra minerals, and he is going to be throwing down that third base here, as he needs to stay up in that base count. Another frog leaped into my throat. Delicious beverage, known as water. So good. Back at home, we see a Forge going down for upgrades, but still no Mothership Core, and this Zealot was out of position. He's going to be able to do a decent amount of damage here. He should be able to clean this up. The Stalker here is going to force those back. Anything more than about 4 Zealot or Zerglings, though, and the Stalker's totally toast. And look, this is why I say that these bases, this third base, is totally doable, even against a gateway expand. It just depends on how aggressive they go for that gateway tech behind this. We do have 2 more gateways on the way, so we're going to be up to 3 gates. We do have +1 on the way, and Warp Gate is almost done. But the question is really, what is Quixoticism going to be doing with his additional income here as things start ramping up, because here in the next 2 minutes or so, we should be expecting to see a decent amount of aggression from Quixoticism. His opponent, Stormshout, though, definitely has the unit lead. He's continuing to drone up, throwing down that Roach Warren. The third base is finishing up. We don't have any upgrades yet, so he's going to be behind in upgrades. But 12 drones, see? Bam. Rallied straight to here. Excellent move, and I really like how active these Zerglings are being out on the map. Average of 169 APM. That's good. That's pretty high. He's spending most of that controlling these out here. He's doing most of his macro back at home with his keyboard. Good low energy on the Queens. Check this out. Is he going to do the backspace trick? Is he? He's forgetting the macro. Looks like there's something out on the map keeping his APM elsewhere. He really needs to be focusing. So to be good at Zerg, you basically need to have impressive injects. There's one. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Oh no. So no, he does have the Queens on a keyboard shortcut. There goes the other one. So I was gonna say that's actually amazing that he got to that point. And now with the +1 on these Zealots, it looks like Quixoticism is definitely feeling comfortable moving out on the map. As it's mostly Zealots at this point in time, although Roaches now are on the way. And now look at this. Seeing where his opponents come out, you have plenty of time and resources and larva to do a pretty decent defense. He is up. He's going to try to isolate that Stalker here. Not a bad idea, but he needs to not engage there. He needs to get on creep, but he's trying to give himself time to get these spine crawlers up. There's another one here. Trying to just continue to engage, trying to pull these Zealots apart. There is no proxy pylon anywhere in the near vicinity, so he's just going to continue microing against these Zealots. He's going to clean these up here in just a moment. Units lost. Definitely in favor of Stormshout at this point in time. Excellent engagements there, keeping things away. And now it looks like he's going to go up into some additional gas income. And what's he going to do? It looks like the Spire is on the way, so we might have Mutaplay. In fact, we're most likely to have Mutaplay. And his opponent back at home going for the double Stargate, but for Void Rays. Void Rays actually aren't very good against mutas, so, but it'll allow him to react appropriately when he does see those mutas. And it looks like Stormshout, go ahead and knowing that his opponent's kind of locked back in at this point in time, is going to be taking another base is totally appropriate. The worker counts are actually almost exactly even. Quixoticism is a little bit behind. He needs to start figuring out how he's going to get an expansion sometime soon. As somewhere between the, generally the 10 and 13 minute mark is when you need to get an expansion. Anything later than that, you're generally behind. Anything earlier than that, and you're usually ahead. You know, assuming that you can survive. A whole bunch of Roaches here that are deeply damaged. You're going to take a little poke at the front door. They're going to try to get some stuff done. They'll probably run away immediately. Just going to snipe that Zealot. Yeah. Maybe even going for the pylon here. That could actually be a pretty good win. But revealing the Void Rays a little bit early. The mutas are in production now. He does have a decent amount of gas. So, okay. But he doesn't have any minerals. That's really unusual. Generally, you have way too many minerals and not enough gas. He's going to continue producing more mutas, though. 67 drones. That's where all of his minerals went. Did you see that? Let's check this out. 67 drones. 46. A huge worker lead, but will he be able to turn that into a unit lead? He's got an army at his front door. This is actually going to be pretty tight to defend. He's got some more stuff coming on its way, but with those stalkers there, he's going to not be able to use these mutas to their fullest advantage. And mutas and their low account do terrible against armies. They just don't have near enough DPS to do much of anything. And these Void Rays here and these stalkers on the ground, they're going to be able to take this down here pretty quickly. The Queen coming forward trying to get some stuff done. It's not going to happen though, so it looks like now Stormshout is going to lose this base. He's going to be forced to lose this. It's not a bad idea. It's going to be showing that there's some lings up there. I wonder if Quixoticism will know that there is in fact a base up there. Looking at production, we do have more mutas in production. There's just so many stalkers that the mutas really don't have a chance. I can just go ahead and say that. The Zerglings here could be doing pretty well. The problem is there's just no good engagement here. This is the worst possible place to be engaging. All the lings caught in the back, and the mutas getting taken out by the Stalkers. However, the Stalkers are going to be getting cleaned up, but now there's nothing to deflect these Void Rays, and that's really the problem here. There are 3 mutas, but 3 mutas just are not enough to take this down. They are focus firing down on the hatchery, though, so the hatchery will go down, but a lot of these Void Rays will fall. 3, there is another base out of here from Quixoticism. He has been properly expanding while attacking, taking out 2 of his opponent's bases, doing a good job. There's just not enough DPS from these mutas to be able to take down these Void Rays. There, with additional mutas, he should be able to take this down. A few transfuses going down on those to keep them alive. He's trying to give those mutas something, or those Void Rays something else to shoot at by putting those roaches there. But at this point in time, I would say worker count lead. I'd say the game is solidly in favor of Quixoticism at this point. He is in fact up 2 bases to 3. And yes, Void Rays are strong. That's just true doctrine. Everyone knows that. Phoenix is going to start being produced. That's a great move. Seeing that his opponent's trying to go for mass muta, but he's been able to keep those numbers low as he's been engaging with low muta counts. And the Stalkers and Void Rays at low muta counts are able to combat that. But once the muta count gets close to about 20, it becomes almost impossible to deal with. As they're so nimble, they have a decent DPS at that point in time, and they heal quickly. So they're much better as a harassment unit. The only thing that can really deal with that is these Phoenixes, especially with the upgraded range. 3 robotics facilities, oh my goodness, going immortal heavy. It's not a bad idea. I was seeing the number of roaches that his opponent has been using, but I think at this point you'll see Muta Ling, as he needs all that gas for Muta production. His economy is starting to come back online. He's trying to keep these buildings alive with some creep tumors here. Get that gas income. He just doesn't have any minerals. Production, 12 more drones. These Phoenixes, this is actually a real Phoenix. Usually you don't see a scouting Phoenix being an actual Phoenix. Then again, you also generally don't worry about losing Overlords to scouting Phoenixes. This will be cleaned up here pretty quickly. Without the range upgrade, what is he doing? Woo! Almost lost a muta there. That would have been really, really unfortunate. He's reinvested a ton in his 2 economy. He should be back up and running here in no time. His worker count is in fact rising, but his opponent has been droning quite hard behind this. He does have the extended thermal lance being researched. He's got 3, 5, 6 gates, 3 robotics facilities, and he's now starting Colossi production, 3 at a time. The problem could be if his opponent, Stormshout, gets enough mutas out. Mutas, there's not enough actually to deal with mutas here. There's lots of immortals and zealots. There's a few stalkers, there's a few Phoenix, and there's 2 Void Ray. That's not enough to deal with a huge group of mutas, but at this point there is also not a huge group of mutas. 10 is getting there, but it's not enough. Also, Quixoticism boldly going for another base here, but his opponent's been very passive as he's needed to invest so much into his economy that he's not been able to really move out. So I do believe that he does in fact know that this is here. He's going to start taking things down. He's going to try to take that base. He's going to come over with these mutas, but it looks like this could be a really bad engagement. He revealed that he knew it too early, in my opinion. And those Phoenixes are going to get a lot of damage done on those mutas, although only taking out 1 or 2. I think having the 1 Ling go over there and expose that you knew that this base was here was a little bit of a blunder by Stormshout. Because if you came down with, 20 Lings in that army, I think he would have actually taken this out, but with 1 Ling giving you that 30 seconds to get that army in the right position, I think that was the real problem here. And now Quixoticism, as he is almost completely maxed, it's going to be moving out across the map. He does not have a proxy pylon, but with a low number of gateways, that's not as much of a deal. Where are the rest of the Colossi? There's another Colossi. We do have additional mutas on their way. There's just nothing. I don't think he's going to be able to handle this. Picking up and lifting that queen, going to be taking that out quite handily. Some mutas. Is he going to try to engage right here? I think he is. The Phoenixes do have the range upgrade, if I am not mistaken, and with the Stalkers and Void Rays, they are going to chew through those mutas here pretty quickly. However, the mutas also taking out quite a bit of things. They just need to be focusing on these more important units like the Colossi and the Phoenixes. Take out those other things. The Mutas are going to go down. They were not microed, and they are all gone. And now I think all hope is also gone for Stormshout at this point in time. So many Colossi. What is that? 4 Colossi? 4 Colossi, a whole bunch of Zealots, and it looks like Stormshout knows that he's behind. He's going to throw down the early, or not the early, appropriately timed good game. So good game, actually. That was really close, back and forth, and I think the key point was the fact that the Mutas there was a decent number, but he focused on some of the Stalkers, but not on the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes are the things that do plus damage versus light armor, which Mutas are. If those Phoenixes has gone down, and then those Stalkers, instead of going Stalkers and then Phoenixes and then Immortals, I think it would have gone a little bit differently. However, excellent gameplay from you, Quixoticism, or however you would like me to pronounce your name. And good job. We're going to watch the second game. This looks like it could be a really close series, as this was a pretty close game. I'm excited.